Hey Scorps, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. I'm laughing because this is now my third attempt to make this video. No matter what I do, the phone calls keep coming in on my phone and throwing it off. I hope you guys are doing great. We're about to dive into your cards for April, and April's a really transformative month. I see direction for Scorpio. First and foremost, a lot of direction. And I see acceptance of knowing that you have to let go of something, some way in which you may have felt protected by in the past, and really step into this new territory. But Pluto and Jupiter and Mars still in your third house at the beginning of April with the big conjunction that's about to occur. I know we're talking about big conjunctions all the time. Aries was conjunct with Chiron, and the sun with Chiron, and then Black Moon and Lilith and Eris, and there's all kinds of things going on. Everything's very active, and that's why things are transforming so rapidly. Obviously, we can't deny that. None of us can deny the rate in which we are changing. But something has to be said in a period of so much transformation. Scorpio, you're in your element. And I think now is a time for you to see the way certain things have worked out in the past. Use your inner wisdom and change it for the better, because as many things that is coming to an end, new things are starting. New ways are starting, and it all starts with your mind. And that conjunction in your third house is all about how you use your mind to bring you the things in your life, how you manifest. That's your third house. And here's the situation for the month. 9 of Cups and the Magician. This is what I'm talking about. This is the energy, Scorpio, whether you realize it or not. This is the energy that you're sitting in for April. You are creating your own version of happiness. You're manifesting everything that you desire right now, and that sounds really great. But it's also a time in which you have to be really careful with what you're manifesting. And there's a time in which you become, Saturn moving into Aquarius, your 4th house, and then Mars is going to move into your 4th house, and all of a sudden here comes the accountability. The realization that everything that you have up until this point was created by you and your situations in the past. And it may have a lot to do with how you allowed others to affect you. 3 of Cups. 9 of Cups again. And the Devil energy. So the first part of the month tells me that you're going to be overcoming something extremely karmic. And this 9 of Cups speaks to me a lot differently than the first 9 of Cups, because that 9 of Cups tells me there's happiness, there's fulfillment. But this guy in front of that 9 of Cups tells me there's a block. There's something that's protecting it, not allowing you to get into it. And I feel like it's ego-based. And I don't know if the devil is having you overcome the effect that other people's opinions and energy has over you. I think that if you're in environments where people are acting overindulgent, or if you are feeling overindulgent, those issues have to be addressed at this time, and you need to exude some sort of control over it. 3 of Cups, let's not avoid the elephant in the room. That could be a third-party situation. The devil could be a habit of inviting in three-party situations. Again, three-party doesn't have to be, a sexual affair or a deception. It could just simply allow other people's opinions to dictate what you do with your life, the way that you move, the things that you value. If you are continually reliant on a group of people's opinions to decide what you truly like and what you truly love and want to do with your life, well, that needs to end. You need to take your control back. Whenever the devil comes out, devil, card of Capricorn, conjunction in your third house, you have to exude power over your mind and not allow others' emotions and opinions to influence you. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Divinity, higher learning, the inner being, the importance of who you are within, your values coming to the surface. The High Priestess talks about secrets being revealed. It talks about becoming who you really are, and it talks about divine guidance and relying on your intuition and your ability to know yourself to cut this out. This Queen of Swords comes up in the middle of your reading. Now, if this is you, then you come across as very selfish, especially because the Nine of Cups, right? So by protecting what is yours, you come off as cold, insincere, selfish, calculating, somewhat manipulative, harsh in your communication. If that's you, well, you're going to get exactly what you give. And if you're treating others that way, that's exactly how they're going to treat you. And it's addressing the give and take in situations. It's addressing what you want to invest in and what you don't. It's who are you going to feed? Who are you going to choose? There's a weaker of two people here. And a Queen of Swords tells me there is a hard time making a decision. But the High Priestess tells me that once you get out of your own head, once you start to take accountability for the issues that you invite into your life, once you start to find balance and inner wisdom, which is going to come to you whether you like it or not. Bottom of the deck, Eight of Wands. There will be conversations, there will be things that happen that just simply move you towards what you need to move towards. They simply deliver the messages so that you can understand them better and more clearly. Because here's the thing, I think deep down inside you know that even if you do have this, and even if you do have this, you still feel like this. Why? Some Scorpios are having a wonderful time. Some Scorpios are spending their time surrounded by loved ones and friends and acquaintances and people that are influencing them. And you know they're not making you happy, but you don't want to do this. You don't want to cut them off. Okay? But you don't want to give them any love either. You're thinking that by cutting off offers of love, by distancing yourself emotionally from the situation, that it's going to help, but it's not. It's not. See, here's the thing. You can't avoid, you can't slip away, you can't ghost. You can't let the whole thing blow up in your face the way it usually does, and then you get to walk away and start anew because Scorpios just recreate themselves from the ashes. That's not going to work this time because you are going to have to face it. You are going to have to face the consequences. You're going to have to face and have the conversations and make the confessions and talk about your feelings, because you're going to realize you can't get anywhere, that no one's going to invest in you in any part of your life whatsoever until you start investing in yourself and addressing the things that you really, really want. These things. These opportunities. Opportunities that are much more stable than this. Opportunities that are long-term. Opportunities that are meant to be. They're karmically yours. But you have to be willing to give and share. And you can't be like this. You can't guard all the beautiful emotions you have within you and keep it at a very casual level anymore, because you're just going to keep getting the casual situation. And meanwhile, Scorpio sits back and wonders why they don't have the real thing. The universe wants to give you the real thing as soon as you decide to let go of the things that don't matter. It's all about reflection this month. It's all about reflection. And if you look at the people that you have in your life, they're all reflecting pieces of themselves back onto you. You are absorbing other people's energy. And when you are in this mode of creating all of your wishes and dreams coming true, you want to be really, really careful of what you're reflecting on to others. If you want the solid investments, you got to make the solid investments. If you want the loving connections, you have to be open to the loving connections. You have to be loving towards other people. If you're cold and you lack emotions, that's what you'll get. If you invest in people that want to party or keep things casual, then that's all you're going to get in life. But I think, without a doubt, Scorpio knows better. Scorpio knows that when you go back to the drawing board and you recreate from an emotional place, if you address all those fourth house issues that are being opened and see Saturn moving into that fourth house, it starts to point out weaknesses. It starts to point out where you're not solid in fourth house, your foundations, in your soul. And it makes it so blaringly obvious that you can't gain traction in any other part of your life until you address these foundations. This is a 2-year cycle for you, Scorpio, and at times it can be draining. But you have to really realize that that fourth house is connected to that 10th house of your career and your destiny in this world. And so until you get that figured out on the inside, you're going to continue to attract outside circumstances that reflect it. If you feel like you had childhood issues, if there was a lack of emotion and acceptance as a child, a lack of love, you're probably reacting to your current relationships that way. You're building walls or ways to protect yourself, and we all do that. Everyone does that, and that's natural. But when Chiron is triggered and all these other planetary actions are creating so much pressure within us, we just simply have to let those old things go. There's healing that occurs. Again, I started this reading by telling you it's okay because you're in your element. 8th house, endings and beginnings. Water. Pay real close attention now, because this set of moons, we're between the Aries and Libra moons, they're squaring your emotional houses and they're squaring you. So squares can be scary. Like, we all dread a square because it means that there's going to be some kind of friction in our lives that we have to address. But the friction is actually good because it points out things that are very fixable. And that's what this transit's going to do for you. It's going to point out all the things that you do have control over. Now, you can't control other people, but you can master your own emotions, the way that you react to things, the way that you protect yourself. So when I'm picking up on coping mechanisms that may not be healthy, when I'm picking up on addiction issues that may need to be addressed, when I'm talking about relationship habits and mistakes you may make because you come from a place where you don't feel like you deserve loyalty, you don't deserve devotion, then you're attracting those temporary types of relationships to you. And the energy now means that you could change these things. You could see them and you have the power to change them, therefore changing your entire path and destiny. And yes, I mean, this can all happen in the month of April, and it will, if you're willing. If you're not willing, then it's going to feel relentless. It's going to feel the way that water feels when it gets really, really heavy. Like you can't breathe, like you're drowning, like you need a life vest. Careful where that life vest comes from, okay? Share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution and expression. Yep. 8th house stuff coming to the surface. North Node finishing up your 9th house of the things that you truly believe in. At the end, in those early degrees in its purest form, there's a reforming of belief in yourself, Scorpio. You're finding inner belief in yourself and therefore summoning courage to talk about those emotions, to talk about those emotional needs, what you want, and to make the adjustments in your life so that you can receive them. Realizing that the very element of water means that you can move love in and out of your energy fluently, if you would allow it. But Scorpios like to build dams and restructure their life in order to stay out of the emotional realms at times. And by that, you stop expressing yourself. Jupiter and Pluto in your 3rd house of self-expression means right now, more than ever in your life, now is the most important time to speak up and express yourself and communicate the changes you want to make, the people that you want to commit to, and the things you're willing to give up. It's time to talk about those dreams, to share them with other people. 8th house, you have to learn to share your fears, your money, your things. It's all about the sharing with others now, and you have to get past all this emotional gunk and open up before you can. That node switches over in May, and as you see, we're only a month and a half away from that major transformation. And as that's occurring, we're dealing with a Venus retrograde in Gemini in that 8th house, which is going to bring so much to the surface, and you have to be ready. So you need to get rid of the distractions. You need to get rid of the unhealthy coping mechanisms. You have to get rid of those old habits that don't serve you. And you need to connect with what does serve you. Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. Now, I do want to say with this, it is a fact that Scorpios tend to work in a medical and data type of processing career, attention to detail, attention to numbers, and a great number of you may be working in the medical or research arena, meaning there's a lot of pressure on you at this time. There's an importance in knowing when to take a break and when to come out swinging. There's an importance in the knowing when your body needs a break. That get grounded speaks to me in so many different ways. And if we're talking about coping mechanisms to get you through this stressful place in your life, maybe, I don't see a lack of pentacles, and I actually see an ace of pentacles here, so it may not have anything to do with it. But if you're financially strained, just getting grounded, getting realistic, doing the little things, trying to save the money, being creative, and just holding back a little bit, knowing that this isn't forever. It's just a phase in which you might have to tighten the belt loops a little bit, and that it's going to be okay. To not give in to the stress emotionally. If you have a habit of dealing with a great amount of stress by going towards an old addiction or an old relationship that isn't healthy, the universe doesn't want you to do that now. It wants you to go inside. It wants you to ground in healthy ways. Get outside. Let that sun hit you in your face. Breathe in fresh air. Take a walk in the woods. If there's a stream or a pond near you where you could kind of listen to water in some capacity, that would be extremely healing to you at this time, being the water element. But it's important to really feel your feet on the ground. There's an importance in looking towards the plants and the life that's reemerging, into bringing your attention to the way that buds are showing up on the tree. You're in a rebirth phase of the beginning and ending. It's a crucial time for inner strength and inner knowing. If you can apply it to the thought of somebody giving birth, if you've ever given birth before, you know that no matter what the doctors and nurses tell you to do, your body just sort of takes over. And there's something very special about the way that your inner being is going to take over. Your intuition and your instincts are going to be so strong this month that you can meet any adversity like the phoenix rising. Now this, I do want to take a minute to read to you, because I really do think this encompasses the entire reading. And this is actually one of the special cosmic energies. It's in the spirit element. Freedom from suffering in past karma and reincarnation. The phoenix represents a transformation of our past. It doesn't mean running from it, denying it, or burning bridges with rage. The phoenix employs an advanced technique described in yoga as the burning of impurities through practice and dedication. The essence of the phoenix is with us when we realize we have been suffering too long and something must change. We take a stand and decide to live consciously instead of being driven by the unconscious mind and its long list of fears and aversions. At that very moment, the spark of the phoenix is lit and the great bird helps us burn through our baggage. We no longer run from who we are, what has happened to us, or what we have done. The stuckness and dead weight fall into the ashes, and a lightness and clarity emerge. As the stagnancy continues to smolder, the phoenix lifts our spirits up, and we begin to recognize ourselves again. We may catch a glimmer in our eye that wasn't there before. Look closely. It's a sign the fire of transformation is upon your wings. Yeah, so that sums it up, Scorps. April's a month to accept new directions, and I think my Scorpios are really in for a major transformation that's going to make you so much stronger and so much in tune with who you truly are. I hope it's a wonderful month for you. I'll see you soon. Bye, Scorps.